Shamo Sakish, Mishistu, Hershatuhi. Greetings to you, my relatives. My name is Greg Castro. I am Tutral Slinen, Rumson, and Ramatu Shaloni. I've been a California Indigenous activist for the last 30 years, and I'm honored and humbled to be here to represent my Slinen and Ohlone people and to advocate on behalf of the California Indigenous people throughout this state who are still here, who are still struggling, fighting, and enjoying the preservation of their culture. I'm here today to talk about the California Indian History Curriculum Coalition. This was a group that was founded a few years ago at the California Indian Conference when I attended a presentation by a student of Dr. Rose Barunda. That presentation was a revelation to me that the quality of the presentation, which represented an actual curriculum that was to be used in schools, was so deep, so broad, so wise, and so different in its presentation and in the conveyance of information that it was just a amazing moment for me as a California person and person who had gone through the school system here in California and had never heard anything like that. Afterwards, I talked with Dr. Barunda and the other people that were there and found out that this was written by a California Native person. And at the same conference, I had heard another presentation about a curriculum being written by someone. And the theme there was that people were basically tired of waiting for the state to correct a great injustice to our people. And that is that the curriculum has written and presented in schools for decades was an erasure of our people, minimized and detracted from the truth. Having grown up here in all my life in the South Bay of San Francisco, and experienced it, and as well as my children and now my grandchildren, having experienced the same erasure of being taught minimal amount of our people, but all about the people that came, that took our land away from us, that took our culture away from us, took our language away from us, and in some cases took our very lives from us. In the current era, we are struggling to revive and renew our connection to our places of being, the places that we have called home for thousands of years. And in that struggle, we are trying to correct the information being sent out there. And we have taken many ways to do that. And one of them is through the curriculum process. Our own children have had to build sugar cube and popsicle stick missions, or may have our parents run mad dashes to the art store to buy a plastic kit, and spending all night gluing and fabricating and painting and not learning about the real truth of what happened in those places that we're erecting facades for. In a sense, the facade is the curriculum itself, in that it does not speak to the truth of California history and what happened to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that were here since the dawn of time, our stories tell us, and certainly for at least 12 to 15,000 years before Europeans came. So that day at the conference, together with Dr. Barunda, we decided to form a coalition. And like most coalitions, we started it very low key, very small, no funding, seat of our pants, but with a fierce determination that this was an issue that had to be addressed. And over the last several years, we've done our best to do so, to where we have some curriculum that are available to the public for free download from various people that we have worked with who are willing to share their curriculum. On behalf of the coalition, I want to thank you for having us here today and for listening to us and listening to our story and what we have to share. I think what we have is very different. It is not the usual date and time and data memorization, but a rich retelling of our culture. We certainly address the historical vacuum that we've been placed in over the last 250 years here in California since Europeans first arrived. But we want to really share what we can of a 15,000 year journey on these lands that we believe Creator put us on to take care of. And we also believe that we're supposed to take care of the people on our land. Even in the recent times where we have a lot of visitors now who have come from far places, but now called our homelands home as well. And our mandate, our commitment, our sacred obligation does not change with that fact. We believe we have to take care of everyone in our homeland, and in the hope that they will take care of our homeland along with us. So we invite you to listen, to share this information, to take it home and think about it, share it with your children, encourage your schools that there is more out there than what has been traditionally taught over the last several decades. My work continues in various efforts of curriculum restoration, cultural protection, ecological restoration. But I'm still a part of this coalition, and I'm very proud to work with these magnificent educators who are dedicated to truth. And hopefully you are too. So now I present Dr. Sue Hobbs, professor in the College of Education at CSU Sacramento, who will discuss the past work of the coalition up to the present time. Dr. Hobbs.
Bonjour, minema no gishgat, mishkakiwan the nankwe, Sue Hobbs and Dashnakas, Bodawadami and Da, Kway and Da. Hello and good day. My name is Dr. Sue Hobbs. I am Potawatomi, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm speaking to you from Contra Costa County, and I want to acknowledge and honor the original inhabitants of this area, the Bay Miwok, on whose land I now live. Today, I will be sharing with you some of the work that has been done and is being done at Sacramento State University to improve the California history curriculum. The fourth grade mission project is part of the California history curriculum. The move to change a fourth grade mission project and misrepresentation of California missions has been ongoing for over 70 years. In 1946, Carrie McWilliams was one of the first to question the romanticized portrayal of California missions as places of peace and happiness for California Indians. Rupert and Jeanette Costo founded the American Indian Historical Society in 1964 and demanded that children be taught the true history of California missions, which involved forced labor and genocide of California Indians. In 2016, the California State Board of Education adopted a new history social science framework. In their chapter on California history, they state, building missions from sugar cubes or popsicle sticks does not help students understand the period and is offensive to many. Missions were sites of conflict, conquest, and forced labor. California history did not start with the missions, but this is often the only place that California Indians are covered in California history. It is important to teach the children about the original inhabitants of the land and the true nature of California missions. Rather than talk about California Indians as people who used to exist, Indian-vetted curriculum also describes who California Indians are today. Responsible curriculum infuses the perspective of California Indians who were affected by the missions. The California Indian History Curriculum Coalition at Sacramento State began after Dr. Rose Barunda, who we'll hear from her next, attended a California Indian conference that was being held in Sacramento. She recalls hearing a presentation in which California Indians were talking about the fourth grade mission project, and how one of them felt when his child was asked to build a mission in the fourth grade. The fourth grade mission projects, if they are not taught with the understanding of how the missions affected the lives of Indians can be romanticized misrepresentations of real life for California Indians during that time. Children need to be taught the entire history of California, and the coalition was founded to help make that happen. We are promoting California Indian curriculum summits along with teacher support and education with the goal of helping schools adopt Indian Vedic curriculum, such as what I'm showing you here. You can access this curriculum on our website. Schools throughout California are using it. One example is Dr. Beverly Ortiz's Ohlone curriculum. Lagunitas School in California is just one school currently using Dr. Ortiz's curriculum, and it is being implemented throughout the year rather than just during the few weeks when children would typically be building missions. Dr. Ortiz's curriculum teaches children many things about Ohlone culture, past and present. Among these, she emphasizes that Ohlone people exist here and now, today, and teaches students to be mindful of Indian stereotypes. Also, fourth grade mission students throughout California are reading Gary Robinson's curriculum, Land of Our Ancestors. Gary Robinson's curriculum teaches children about California missions through the lens of a Chumash Indian child. Children learn about the enslavement of California Indians by Spanish Catholics who founded the missions. You will hear more about the curriculum in a few minutes. The California Indian History Curriculum Coalition has been involved in various ways to promote the use of Indian Vedic curriculum in California schools. We have taught teachers about Indian Vedic curriculum during multiple talks at Sacramento State multicultural conferences. We have held summits to discuss California history and how we can responsibly teach it. We have a variety of resources and publications on our website. I've shown you some here. This is where you can access the map of the pre-contact tribal territories I showed you earlier. Members of the coalition are doing podcasts. Sacramento State faculty and other professionals recently published this paper that is about how California history is more than just the missions. Members of the coalition are featured in Sacramento State News. And in May, we will be presenting at the UC Davis Teaching History Conference. And there are also other resources available for you. I encourage you to visit our website and view this video, Gabe's fourth grade mission project, which talks about an Ohlone child and his experience with the mission project. If you're interested in supporting changes in the California history curriculum to include the voices of California Indians, I invite you to visit our website. Dr. Rose Barunda will show you how to access that in a few minutes. Click on the link under Explore the CIHCC that says Repeal, Replace, and Reframe the fourth grade mission project. There you will have the opportunity to sign a petition and also explore our website and find out about the information and materials we have for you there. Next, I want to introduce Dr. Rose Barunda, who is a professor in the College of Education and our California Indian History Curriculum Coalition coordinator.
Not Hamashak. I'm Rose Barunda, a professor in the College of Education at California State University, Sacramento. I'm a former school counselor and currently a member of the California Indian History Curriculum Coalition. Living here in Amador County, I would like to acknowledge the Sierra Miwok, upon whose traditional land I now live and from where I transmit this particular communication. Having knowledge of the communities to which we belong provides a sense of psychosocial integration. When our own cultural heritage is acknowledged and affirmed, it contextualizes our relationships with other communities while providing a sense of place and identity. Acknowledgement of our own unique cultural attributes recognizes not only how we came to be where we are, but it instills a sense of agency in determining our path forward. When I served as a school counselor, I facilitated school-wide efforts to address racial discord and gang identification. What became apparent was that when faculty, curriculum, and school practices demonstrated appreciation and integration of diverse cultures and people, intergroup harmony, and more pro-school behaviors followed. The discord dissipated when inclusion was evident. In my opening, I also offered what's known as a land acknowledgement by recognizing the original nation of where I now live. By way of practice, our events and gatherings at Sac State open with a land acknowledgement. This is one important step in demonstrating our respect for the Native American people who are the original stewards of the land where we now live. The United States master narrative has not only traditionally neglected to acknowledge original nations, but has disregarded their perspective and experiences in the curriculum offered in our schools. Subsequently, we missed the opportunity to learn from those who've been on this land for thousands of years. By raising awareness of and modeling respect for original nations and the land that we now call home, we begin to develop our own psychosocial integration with the earth and with one another. It's the first step in healing as a nation and in promoting inclusion of all people. There are further steps that can be taken. And as educators of future generations, you're in the position to correct the misinformation that many of us were taught in our K through 12 classrooms by adopting California Indian vetted curriculum. So that you, our children's educators, may have access to curriculum that has been California Indian vetted, I'd like to refer you to the Coalition's website. To access this valuable information, you would first of all access our university website at www.csus.edu and scroll down to the bottom right-hand corner. From there, you would click on the education box. On the right side, you'll see community engagement listed. Click here, and on the right side, you'll find access to California Indian History curriculum. Once you click on this link, you'll find background to the coalition, and on the right side, you'll click to find valuable publications and resources. And also accessible curriculum that you can use now and start to implement in your classrooms. Schools and teachers across California are already using this curriculum offered here. More recently, for example, San Diego Unified School District made Lands of Our Ancestors available for their teachers through their libraries. Authored by Gary Robinson, these 3 books follow 3 generations of a Chumash family from point of contact with Spanish missionaries to early statehood. There's a combined volume available also in addition to corresponding teachers' guides co-authored by California educators Kathleen Chicote Wallace, Dessa Drake, and Fred Messacar, so that 4th grade history social science standards are addressed in your classroom. And I have a copy of his books here, which can be made available to you as an educator and to share with your colleagues. I thank you. I thank all of you teachers for all the work you do to educate our children and shape the way future generations perceive themselves, as well as how they come to respect and honor one another and our earth. So in the language of my mother's people who immigrated to this continent from across the Atlantic, I bid all of you farewell, adios, which means go with God.